Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live on YouTube around 4 p.m. Central Time, or outside of my live stream, you can consider joining the Discord I created. There's a link for that down in the description below. Also, down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. A lot of times people ask me what are the foods I'm eating to help me lose weight, and that Pinterest board is a great place to see some of our favorite whole food plant-based meals. Today is day 809 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food plant-based salt, oil, sugar-free diet to lose, as of today, 240 pounds. I have about 9 months left to go, 9.5 months left to go. I'm looking forward to losing the rest of the weight I need to lose and living the rest of my life at a healthy weight. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, it is weigh-in Wednesday. I'd love to hear yours. I'll be going over my on-scale victory here in a moment. If you're struggling with your diet, what's causing your struggles? If you're succeeding, what are you doing to succeed? Let us know. And at the end of the day, what are some things that you are going to do or that you are doing that makes staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Switch over to the main page here. Hello, Rick and Christy and Pretty Girl's mom. I hope everybody had a wonderful couple days. It's been since Monday, that I was last live. I did not end up going live yesterday. We had a wonderful day. It was me and Carrie's 14th wedding anniversary yesterday. So we spent some time hanging out with each other and just enjoying the day with each other and with our kids as well. So it was a fun day. We ended up going and seeing a movie called A Man Called Otto. It was a very good movie, very sad movie, but very good movie. Anyways, Chrissy says, "Aw, congrats." Yes, 14 years together of wedded bliss. It's been nothing but sunshine and rainbows the whole time, I swear. No, it has been great. And I'm very happy to have Carrie as my partner, and without her, I wouldn't have been able to really succeed with this weight loss challenge that I'm doing now. She's been a huge part of it. So I'm going to go over food here for the last 2 days. So hi, Janet. I hope everything's going great today for you. If you've been kind of following, and I know many of you guys are actually doing this as well, we started kind of doing the Chef AJ reboot that she's started here. And so we've, changed our diet a little bit. Some things haven't needed to change or haven't changed, but we have changed up our diet a little bit. So it's going to be a little bit different food here for the last 2 days. So let me pop this here. Here we go. So yesterday for breakfast, before I ate anything else, I ate an entire bag of steamed broccoli. I put a little bit of one of the balsamic vinaigrettes that we had on there. I might have used the last of the 7 herb, or I used the whatever, the sweet spicy one there that we had here. Janet's asking, did we try the butterscotch pudding? We did not. It's just sweet potato and banana, and it's amazing. We will have to try that out. We did not have anything anything super sweet yesterday other than a few pieces of fruit that I ended up having. And I'm not following the reboot necessarily as much as Carrie is following the reboot. She says here that she is making the pudding tonight. So we're going to have that tonight to try out. So that'll be good. So breakfast yesterday before anything else was this broccoli. I must not have taken a photo of it, but I had the broccoli, and then Carrie did make our regular oatmeal. So I had the broccoli and I had our regular oatmeal. I must say that I was very sustained after that breakfast, having the whole bag of steamed broccoli and then our normal oatmeal. I really wasn't hungry for a lot of the rest of the day. It looks like I ate breakfast around 7 a.m. and I had some potatoes. It wasn't until about 4 p.m. that I even ate any potatoes. So eating this way so far has been very satisfying and very satiating is maybe the word I'm looking for. And so I ended up eating, I took a photo of these potatoes. I did not end up eating all of them. I didn't put any broccoli with them, didn't put any dressing. I was just kind of eating them at my desk. I was working on some things yesterday. And so I ate most of these potatoes, but I did not eat all of them. And then for dinner last night, we had this. So this is not a great picture of it here. This is, it was a big bowl of brown rice. And then Carrie made a recipe from the Chef AJ's reboot. It was mushrooms and there was a lot of lemon juice in it or lemon flavoring in it. And then we put it over brown rice. I didn't make the recipe. It seemed to be a pretty simple recipe to make overall. And I really enjoyed this. I don't have a great photo. I didn't have great lighting, but, I just really liked it. Anything that's got mushrooms in it, I'm going to enjoy. And over time, I've gotten better with rice. And so that was another satisfying dinner. The only downside I would say to that is that we didn't have more of it. These recipes are, I don't know if they're really made to be 2 servings or how much they're really designed. Each of the recipes she's using are designed to make, or if it's supposed to be for one person. But it was still a full bowl of brown rice. Very satisfied again after having the broccoli in the morning, the oatmeal, the potatoes, and then this as well. It was a very full day of eating. Let's see here. Janet says, you had kale and mushrooms and then you had your overnight groats. Yeah. It was a lot here. Janet's asking if 4 tablespoons was too much lemon. It was very lemony, the meal we had last night, but it wasn't overly, and Carrie's saying that here too. And I think that the more lemon, if it was too lemony, you could just add more brown rice, or if you put it over potatoes or whatever you mix it with, you can just dilute it with that starch a little bit. But I enjoyed it. I liked the meal and I would eat it again. And Carrie says here that she's making the red lentil chili now, that we're going to have for dinner this evening. So that was yesterday's dinner. And then today for breakfast, but I didn't eat until really late in the morning. I had a busy morning this morning and I really felt amazing all morning, kind of pushing. Oh, what did I do? Let me figure out what I just did. There we go. I didn't need to eat first thing this morning. And so when I did finally get a chance to sit down and eat, I did kind of the same thing I did yesterday. I had an entire steamer bag of broccoli. I ate that first. And And then after I had the steamer bag of broccoli, then I ate our regular oatmeal. And this is the spinach, mushroom, onion oatmeal that we have pretty much every single day. And then for lunch today, I took a little bit fancier of a photo here. It's the a bowl of potatoes with a bag of broccoli on top, and then the California balsamics, if I can figure out my phone. The curry balsamic. Carrie just got our order of that in today, so we were able to have a big bowl of potatoes and broccoli with some curry on it. Here's another kind of an advertising photo for the California balsamic here. And Janet here says, you got some curry at the conference. Yes, it is very good. I really enjoyed it. And I worry that I'm going to over season with these balsamics, and with this one, I don't know that you could I'm sure you could over season it, but I had put a healthy amount in there, was eating it, and then by the end I even added a little bit more just to make it a little spicier. But I really enjoyed that today. And so then here's actually what it looked like when I finally got done doing my own processing to my food. So I mashed the potatoes myself, cut the broccoli up myself, mixed it together. And Carrie says it was such a treat with the curry balsamic. Yes, it's really an awesome meal. And just the volume of food that I'm eating is just amazing to me. And, you know, just adding that extra bag of broccoli in the morning, I feel like even just 2 days in, I'm noticing a difference by changing, you know, maybe when I eat the foods that I'm eating, or you know, starting the day with that big bowl of vegetables really gets it. It's a good way to start the day. And I'm happy that, you know, we've started to do this reboot, and I'm looking forward to seeing if I can continue to have some weight loss on it. So that is another thing I was going to talk about today. Today is weigh-in Wednesday. I hope you guys had a chance to watch my weigh-in video from earlier, but I did hop on the scale this morning and I weighed in at 279.8, and I have not updated it on my screen here. Let me update it here so it's the right thing. 279.8. So I lost 4 pounds in the last week, and I'm so happy to see that loss. I really kind of felt it coming this week that I was going to see a good loss. It's been really almost 20 days. I think I weighed in on like the 28th, so maybe 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks ago that I weighed in at 83.8, and then I had the surgery, didn't weigh in for a week or two there, and so now to be back down that 4 pounds is really it's awesome. And I've really felt it this week. Like, and that's something that as I get closer to my goal weight, I'm going to notice each pound a little bit more than I did when I started. When this challenge first started, I was 520 pounds, you know, losing a pound or losing 4 pounds in a week was awesome. And I was able to do it. But that difference between 500 and 496 isn't quite the same as that difference between 285 and 280 pounds. And so as I continue to get closer and closer to that 219.8, I'm going to notice these pounds more and more each day. And I really do, like, just physically, my body, I'm getting used to being this weight, you know, or I'm getting used to being thinner and recognizing, you know, how nice it feels to be this thin. And just like I've talked about it in the past, but just like being able to feel my hip bones is something that's crazy. I'm wearing my pants like at a different spot than I used to wear my pants. I used to have them kind of underneath this blob of fat. And now I kind of have my waistband up closer to my belly button, and it kind of doing that even kind of brings my body in a little bit as well. Tennyson Yoga Girl says, huge shout out to Carrie for preparing your food. Great job, Carrie and John. Yes, Carrie does an amazing job getting the food together for us and having great options for us to have for dinner each day. I'm sure the diet can be done simpler than we do it, but Carrie being able to, play around with these recipes and get us, it's really been helpful and it really makes a difference. So the 4 pounds that I lost this week, I needed to lose that weight too, because every month I need to be seeing some major movements towards my goal weight if I want to reach my goal weight by the end of October this year. So getting down into the 270s, not being 280 is awesome. By the end of this month, if I can get closer to 275, that's really going to be my goal this month, is to get there, and each month here losing 6 to 10 pounds is going to be what I need to have happen, and as I get closer, I may have to adjust my diet and change things around. And I think that's a great thing that this reboot has done, is adjust the diet a little bit here and start getting things going the right way. And Carrie says, it's fun to try some of the new recipes on this reboot. We needed a refresher, or we needed a new source of good recipes. Something that we've run into is, and I'm sure many of you have run into eating a salt, oil, sugar-free diet, is that many of the recipes that we do enjoy have things that aren't on our diet as part of the recipe. We just don't put salt in there, or we don't put those ingredients, or we find substitutes for those ingredients. So the nice thing about this reboot is that all of the recipes as they are, we can prepare and we can try them. And one of the great things about a plant-based diet, though, I would say, is that you take these recipes and you do modify them to fit your needs a bit, so that, because not every recipe is going to be a winner for you, but a lot of recipes are made for the masses. So you might have to add a little bit more of a spice or remove a spice depending on your own taste preferences. But it is cool to see, all these recipes that are just already compliant to the diet that we've been eating here. Let's see. Janet's asking if Carrie's weighing in at all. She said that she did. Carrie weighed in on Monday to see how the program is working for her. Janet says, you are brave. She still doesn't like that darn scale. Yes, the scale, if it gives you stress, then I would say stay away from the scale. I try to look at the scale as a tool for myself. It's, and it's not an accurate tool. I can get on the scale and then move the scale and it can change a little bit. So I try not to give too much power to the scale. But Carrie says her neither. She doesn't like to get on the scale. She hardly ever weighs, but she's hoping doing so will keep her motivated through the challenge here. Yeah, and with this, just in the last 2 days, I can't imagine not losing weight on this reboot. Unless you're already at a healthy weight, but for me, being at 280 pounds, this reboot's going to really, really make a difference. So I talked about the 4 pound loss, super happy with that. Hopefully we can just roll that into another, pound or 2 loss this next week. But I do realize that that's not always going to happen. And many times I've had 4 pound weight losses followed the next week by not losing any weight, not losing very much weight, or even gaining a little bit of weight. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes this next week. The other thing I was going to talk about today was curing obesity with a plant-based diet. Curing obesity. Is obesity something that can be cured? I don't know that it is. Like many people think of obesity as a disability, but over time, I've definitely changed any of my kind of leanings toward it being a disability. And I actually feel like, the fact that my body was able to pack on so much of the fat that I was eating was actually more of an ability than a disability. But, the big businesses out there, the corporations want you to think that you can cure obesity or you can fix your obesity problem, just by buying their new product. It's like, oh, you got fat eating our, regular products. Well, come over and buy our low fat version of that same product, or try our meal replacement shakes, to lose weight, and oh, you've lost some weight. Well, go reward yourself with a Snickers bar. Grab yourself some candy. Eat some of that food you used to eat, because you've lost a couple pounds. They just want you in this cycle of losing a little bit of weight, gaining it back, losing a little bit of weight, gaining it back, because they need you to be a perpetual customer. They want you to be continuing to buy their products and making them money. Carrie says, like that low price gym. Yeah, like they want you to just spend a couple bucks, come to our gym, and the one like the Planet Fit, they have a pizza day, like come join our gym, lose a bunch of weight, and then let's screw it up one day this week, reward yourself, or come by, or a lot of the gyms, they want you to come in and, use their gym. And then all the gyms around here now sell protein shakes and smoothies and different things. But the businesses know that eating a calorie restrictive diet or a low calorie diet or doing a calories in, calories out, they know it doesn't work, but they also know that it makes them a ton of money selling these gimmicky products that, all we change. There was a product the other day, somebody told me that the one version of it said something about being, some sort of health benefit, gluten-free or non-GMO or something. And they looked at the ingredient list between that and the regular version of the product, and it was identical between the two products. They just had the packaging on the one product focused towards something that they feel like people are willing to pay a premium for. A lot of these companies and these diet programs, they're in it for the money. They're not in it for you. And so for me though, I think that it's not the word obesity. When I think of an obese person or somebody who's suffering from obesity, I think of those people as high volume eaters. I think that's what we have to start realizing, is that we all eat a different volume of food. And there's somebody that can eat the standard American diet that weighs 170 pounds. There's another person that eats the standard American diet and weighs 250 pounds. And there's a third person that eats a standard diet and weighs 520 pounds. What's the difference between those people if they're all eating from the same buffet table? The difference between those people is one of those people or two of those people eat a higher volume of food than the lighter person. And that's what I was. I was a high volume, and I still am a high volume eater. That's what I think obesity is. The people that are obese in the world are high volume eaters that are just eating from the wrong buffet table. You're going to the grocery store and you're allowing anything at the grocery store to be on the table. And as time goes on, the products at the grocery store are continuing to increase their calorie density. And so if you're willing to buy anything at the grocery store, then the calorie density of your diet, even if you're not actively trying, is getting higher because the products in the store are more calorie dense than they used to be. The stores have to make them more calorie dense because they need you to buy their product over the competitor's product. And you're not going to buy their product if it doesn't satisfy you more or create a higher dopamine spike than the other people's products. And they're only going to do that by increasing the calories or putting chemicals in these products that we really don't know everything that they do to us in the end. And so we can fix this obesity problem by changing the food. You got to go to a different buffet table. I eat just as much food as I used to. I'm standing in front of a different table. The options are different. I've limited myself. I've said no more of the boxed products. I don't need to buy brown food because it's in a green and blue and red box. I need to buy green and blue and red and yellow and orange foods that are just naturally that color. And, and the thing that with society too is that we're trained to think of these foods as side items. Like when I think of having carrots and having potato and having broccoli, when you go to a restaurant, these are all items that you get on the side, that you just get like a little tiny bowl of mixed fruit or steamed vegetables. It's never the main course. And when you start eating this diet, you have to get that mentality out of your head. You have to start, 2-timesing or 3-timesing what you think a normal serving size of a fruit or a vegetable is. I used to think that a normal serving size of bananas was to eat 1 banana. Now I very rarely just eat 1 banana. I always grab 2 bananas, sometimes, not usually 3, but sometimes 3 bananas. Same with oranges, like I would think of an orange as a snack to just eat a single orange. Now I grab 3 or 4 oranges if I'm going to have a snack. I think of broccoli. Having the broccoli I had today, I've already eaten 2 pounds of broccoli today. And before, I would never eat broccoli. I would get something, if I had options for sides, it would not have been, the steamed broccoli wouldn't have been the side that I would have chosen. So you have to realize that these foods that you've been trained your whole life to be side items, they need to be the entrees on your plate. You need to start lowering the calorie density of the food. And the more you lower the overall calorie density of the food that you're eating, the more you're going to promote weight loss. If that's what you're in this for, is to lose weight, to quit being obese, then you need to eat more vegetables, and you need to eat more non-starchy vegetables. You need to be eating from that lowest calorie dense pool. If you lay out all of the foods on a chart showing their calorie density, the non-starchy vegetables are the lowest calorie dense foods. And you need to start realizing that those need to be your top food group if you want to lose weight. And by eating a large volume of that food, also eating a variety of other foods as well, your calorie density goes down. And since we've started this reboot 2 days ago, I've lowered my overall calorie density of the food that I'm eating throughout the week, and that's going to promote greater weight loss than me choosing to eat what I used to eat. What I was eating was helping me lose weight, and I was seeing weight loss success. But by choosing to eat more foods from that lowest calorie dense section of the food pyramid or the food chain that we have, it's going to cause more weight loss. Because when we eat these diets of moderation, you eat less food. And when you eat less food, it gets tough to sustain that over time. And with this, I'm still eating the same amount of food. It's just that the calorie density of my diet drops. And the more you can get the calorie density of your diet to drop, the more you're going to see weight loss, and the faster you're going to cure this obesity problem, which it's not a problem. If you're obese, I believe that most likely it's because you're a volume eater and you're eating from the wrong table. You might have a sibling that's healthy weight or underweight. Maybe they get to eat from a different buffet table than you get to eat from, but it's because they're not eating the volume of food that you're eating. You need to look at the calorie density. You need to continue to eat the volume that you need. Like if you're a volume eater, if you're an obese person, you're a volume eater, that means you have to continue to eat a volume of food or you're not going to be satisfied. And that's the biggest thing, is you have to satisfy yourself with the amount of food you're eating. When I was eating that lunch today, that broccoli and potatoes, I was stuffed by the end of it. There was some food at the end that I could have left it, and I would have been just as satisfied as finishing the last 2 scoops of food. But I don't go to bed hungry. And when you do these calorie in, calorie out diets, these low calorie diets, these volume restricting diets, that weighs on you over time. The under eating, the not satisfying that need for food, it weighs on you over time, just like undersleeping does. It might not be the next day that it's a problem. It might not be the next week, but if you're chronically if you're chronically undersleeping and you're getting half as much sleep as you're supposed to get every night, eventually it's going to catch up to you. And the diet's the same way. If you're eating half the volume that you're supposed to be eating, it's going to catch up to you, and you're going to have a relapse at the end. You're going to make awful choices. And I know that because I've done it. I did it for 20 years. Where I would think that I had it figured out. This diet's the diet. Everybody needs to come try this product or do this program. It's the way to go. And then it just crashes and burns. And then you lose all that progress. If any one of the diets I did before was successful, I would not have been 520 pounds. The diet is only successful if you can continue to do it over and over. Cindy here says that although beans and pasta is left of the red line, but should these be eaten less often or more often for weight loss? Well, so if you're eating left of the red line, you're going to promote weight loss. It's hard to gain weight eating everything left of the red line, under that 600 calories per pound. But the more food you consume from the lower calorie density, the more rapid weight loss you're going to see. I anticipate seeing more weight loss over the next 30 days because the volume of non-starchy vegetables in my diet is going to increase. And because I'm eating more non-starchy vegetables, it means that later in the day, I'm likely to eat less starchy vegetables. And so then instead of having food that was 500 calories a pound, I had food that was 100 calories per pound. I saved 400 calories per pound of food that I replaced from a starch to a non-starchy vegetable. So that's kind of what it is. And then Carrie actually was saying that right before, one of the meals we had right before, and kind of the week before the Chef AJ reboot, Carrie started to cut out some of the beans. We had, a lot of times we have Spanish rice and beans. We just had Spanish rice this last time. And so just trying to replace the beans with something that is a little bit lower calorie dense, that it should help promote a little bit better weight loss, and it's not going to be a drastic difference, but it is going to be, it's going to make a difference. The difference between eating my old diet and now was, let's say 99% different. The diet now, eating just more leafy green vegetables, is that other 0.5% more that my diet's different than what I used to eat. Yeah, so you just have to recognize that if you're overweight, you're a high volume eater, and that if you're a high volume eater, then calorie density becomes your friend when it comes to weight loss, because that's really going to be what helps promote the weight loss. And it's let's see, Cindy here says you're finally at, as you said, I'm at my final 30 and I think I need to focus on the non-starchy vegetables. Yes. And that's something that as I get closer and closer to my goal weight, I'm going to have to start looking at some of those things too. And this reboot has really been great. I think it's going to be great for us to really work on those non-starchy vegetables, because I believe that I've relied heavily on the starches, the potatoes and the brown rice, and even the brown rice noodles and the beans for a lot of this diet. And I haven't given broccoli and kale and spinach a large enough role in the diet. And so as I go on, they are going to get a larger role. Broccoli has definitely been what we've had an increase in today. And it's the greenness goes right through you. That's what I have to say with that. That's something that I was surprised by, was the more green food I'm eating, the greener is coming out on the other end. And it's a good thing, but it's surprising. Carrie says it's definitely going to get us used to eating non-starchy vegetables. Yes, I think that's been something that the change from the standard American diet or the modern diet that we were eating to eating a starch heavy diet, made a huge difference. I lost 240 pounds. I would continue to lose weight eating the diet that I was eating. But if I want to see that final success, I'm going to have to see a lot more salads in my day and a lot more veggies in my day. That's funny. So apparently the reason why Chef AJ doesn't have any beans in her recipes is because she's allergic to beans. And so that's why she seems to not have a lot of beans in her recipes. See, Carrie was reading into it all wrong. And Janet here says you have to find how it affects your system. Yes. So it's been good. And I'm happy with the weight loss. I'm happy things are going the right direction. And they're continuing to go the right direction. I've extremely satisfied eating a large volume of food. And that's something that no diet before has ever given me, is that ability to go to bed full, wake up and not be hungry right away. Like I didn't eat until a couple hours after being up this morning. And generally on diets in the past, it would be wake up and where's the food? I need to get something in me. So yeah, and I'm excited about the future here. I'm excited about getting down to 275. It's such a milestone for me. I'm within 5 pounds. 275. When I was in high school, I used to wrestle a lot and I was a heavyweight wrestler, and that was the weight limit. So for me to get under that is going to be a huge milestone. I think 250, 225, they're all big milestones, but I'm really getting closer, and I'm getting motivated and excited about finally reaching that and hitting that. Janet here says that if we start with non-starchy veggies, starchy veggies, then grains, then beans. We don't overeat them. Yeah, and that's something that I really like starting the morning with the broccoli. Like it just, I don't know. It was so satisfying. And then, yeah. And then you don't overeat the other stuff later because, you got a full stomach, and it's still working on that. So yeah, I think I'm going to get out of here today. It is, yes, it's so exciting seeing the weight come off. It is, the reboot. I think it's a 30-day reboot, is how long the reboot is for. Or that's how long, yeah, that it's set up for. I'm sure you could eat this way forever. And that's the intention of the reboot, is to continue eating this way. But Carrie says, I like it too. We might make this a thing. Yes, it's, when I read The Secret to Ultimate Weight Loss, she talked about vegetable for breakfast, and we modified our oatmeal to have veggies and not fruit in it. But I didn't really, I never really felt like we gave it like what she said was saying in the book. And so now eating that bag of broccoli in the morning, I notice a difference. Janet here says that she also finds that if she eats enough as the day progresses, by the evening when we tend to overeat, you're satisfied and you don't want to eat like you used to. Yes. And that was something like the dinner last night. It's kind of been a natural thing for me to have 2 servings of dinner. And that wasn't something that I was able to do last night. Very satisfied. I didn't run around looking for anything else to eat, or wasn't like trying to find something else. So yeah. And Carrie says, yes, before lunch was done, she was telling me today that she wasn't very hungry. And she feels the same as she's preparing for dinner tonight. Yes. It's just throughout the day, less hungry throughout the week. And here says that your success is our success. Thanks for sharing. Well, thank you, for following along and supporting me. Yeah. I think that, I'm really, excited about what's going to happen in the future here. Janet says, amazing how the veggies affect our hunger. Yeah, I was thinking about that too, is like eating the broccoli, like does eating that first, does it cause the gut bugs that are digesting your food or helping us digest the food? Does it occupy them? Do they get busy doing that? And then they're working on that before they even get to the starchy vegetables that you ate. What kind of causes it? So yeah. And then, Cindy says, congrats. Jean says, finally made the live. Thanks, Jean, for catching a live. I don't have a whole lot more unless you had something specifically you wanted to ask me, but yes, thanks for checking it out. I have seen your comments. I appreciate them greatly. See, Barb here says, so many in this group are so motivated and on a nice roll. Yes, you got to get that consistency going. It makes a difference. Something that I thought about too, I didn't talk about it here, but eating this diet, it gets easier to eat a plant-based diet as time goes on. And that's something that's different about this diet than other diets that I've done in the past. I feel like as time has gone on, the other diets got more difficult. And by the end of them, I felt like I was hanging on to the edge of a cliff with just my pinky finger, just holding on like, please, please, but this diet is not that way at all. I feel like I'm so in control and I'm not at the edge at all. I really, I see temptations and I've felt temptations, but I've never really, especially here in the last couple months since I recommitted to the salt, oil, sugar free. I don't have that kind of, that devil in the back of my head, like there was on other diets, saying it'll be okay, just this one time. It's just like, Instead, it's like, well, just go eat a bag of broccoli, go eat a potato, like I'm not telling myself to not eat. And so as time has gone on, this diet has gotten easier to stay on. And then as time goes on, that's, because the diet's easy to stay on, it's easy for me to make adjustments to help get me that little bit further. On these diets I was eating before, where I was eating 1,000 calories or 1,200 calories, there was no room for replacing a food or having an extra food, because it would throw everything off on the program that I was on. And so, with this diet, as I'm going and I seeing that the weight loss slows down, I can see where I can move things. Like I've been talking about this whole video, is I can move from the starchy vegetables and the beans and the legumes and start moving over towards the fruits and the non-starchy vegetables. And I can make that shift without feeling like I'm sacrificing anything, because I know that when I start eating more non-starchy vegetables, that actually means I could probably get away with eating more food. Because when I was eating 2 pounds of potatoes that's now replaced by 2 pounds of broccoli, the calories is so much lower that even if I had a 1/3 pound of broccoli, I would still be at less calories than eating the potatoes that I was eating. So it's like I can see how over time I can work on this diet. Whereas other diets in the past, you were stuck in it. Like it was this way or the highway. Whereas this diet, you can modify it, you can change it, you can do reboots, you can do these things. It's amazing. Gene here says that I've motivated you. That's awesome. I appreciate that. You gained over the holidays, and now we will see if you can stay in your plateau again. Yes, you got to get that holiday weight off. You have to get out of that behavioral equilibrium. You call it a plateau, but it's a behavioral equilibrium, as Dr. Lisle calls it. You have to realize that you have to shake something up, if you want to get out of that plateau. You're right, but yes, just start working on the food, work on the calorie density of the food that you're eating, and try to stick to eating a whole food plant-based diet. It's going to be the best thing for you. Gene says that you joined the Ultimate Reboot, and then you said your weight loss has stalled out. I'm guessing because the reboot just started yesterday, so that's why you had got in the reboot. Yeah, I think that the reboot's been great for us so far. I haven't really consumed any of the other content or any of the stuff about the reboot other than the food that we're eating. But yeah, you got to shake it up a bit and see what you can get done. Janet here says, enjoy the red lentil chili. I'm excited. Carrie says it smells wonderful. Yes. So yeah, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys so much. All the support, the group here that comes on the live streams, the people that comment after and watch the video, all you guys, I appreciate all of your support. It has motivated me. It keeps me dedicated to my goal, and it helps keep me from any of those temptations or cravings for sure. So I appreciate you guys a ton, and I look forward to continuing to lose weight and reach my goal, and have you guys along here with me while I do it. But I am going to get out of here. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure you get subscribed to the channel. If you've not clicked on the bell icon and turned on notifications, make sure that you do that. If you've not liked this video and commented down below, let me know what your favorite non-starchy vegetable is down below. How does that sound? Because we got to start eating more non-starchy vegetables. And if you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health and your overall well-being. And nobody gets to their goals, looks back and says, man, I don't know what I was in a hurry for. I wish I would have waited. Everybody looks back and says they wish they would have started sooner. I wish I would have known how good I was going to feel, or I would have started sooner. Nobody regrets getting started. So get started right now. Start making the plans, even if it's not to start changing the food right now. Start making the plan. Start putting things in place that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative. All right, guys, you all have a great evening. I got to find my mouse here. All right. You guys have a great evening.